Hi. Today we're talking about mental ledgers. These are private notes that we tend to keep in our minds about all the good things we've done, mostly toward other people, and that we expect the universe to somehow keep track of those things and then reward us for balancing the ledger by having those similarly good deeds being done for us. And that doesn't happen. And that leaves us feeling resentful and upset with the universe or with the person who is not fulfilling our expectations. And so that's not only unfair to them, but it's also ineffective. And it leaves us in a really bad, powerless place. So one example of that is a relationship where, you bring chicken soup for someone who is not feeling well. And then you expect that when you're not feeling well, that person should know about this and know to bring you chicken soup because that's what you did. And if that person doesn't do it, either doesn't call in time and doesn't find out or doesn't think that they should bring you chicken soup in return, now you become upset because this person is not as good a friend. Another situation is when you're working hard in your job to please your boss, but your employee doesn't work as hard to please you. And so that's also unfair. And in both those cases, we make notes in our mind about the things that we're entitled to because we've done them. And so if those things then aren't met, then we become upset. And I offer that that's really unfair and ineffective because the other person may have no idea that that's your expectation. So in the chicken soup example, maybe you're a really good cook of chicken soup, and so your chicken soup is really tasty and will help the other person. But if the other person doesn't really know how to make it, or it's not in their family culture to bring something and they don't do it, or if they don't call you when you expect them to because they don't have a sixth sense that you're not feeling well, that's really not a fair expectation to have of them. And likewise, if you want to help your boss and make sure that they're taken care of and your employee doesn't do that for you, it's not fair for you to expect for your employee to read your mind and act similarly. Instead, I would offer that you should talk about behaviors that you expect, let's say from your employee. If you want your employee to proof their work or double check or do some extra research, you should ask them to do that, not expect them to watch you and absorb it through osmosis. And in terms of your friend and with the chicken soup example, you might speak about the relationship and what your expectation was and how you felt and and things like that, rather than have this perception of your friend that they're not as good a friend to you when they just might have no idea that that's what you expected of them. So I'm curious about your perception of this ledger, whether you have it or you've seen it used against you, where you were responsible for something that you didn't think was your fault or your doing. And I'd like to hear more. So write to me on LinkedIn or send me an email at alex@yaurgroup.com, and I look forward to hearing from you. Take care.